Happy Independence Day, Lamar.
And independent. Well, we'll talk about that later when we talk about the movie. But
Episode
yes,
27, Independence Day.
independence or dense.
Now, how do you spell this, Lamar? Because we have
I'm on
two
here right
movies.
now. I got it. So INDEPENDENTS with an apostrophe after the S.
S.
DAY.
S apostrophe.
So yes. So it's speaking of independence as plural, and it belongs to those independents.
Well, this film is brought to us by The Asylum.
Once again, our first Asylum film was Transmorphers.
And then we did Android Cop.
So,
and here's the thing. With Asylum, you know what you're getting. Asylum knows what they're making. They're in on the joke.
Yes.
And it just is what it is.
I'm right there with you, Joe. Definitely with this one. Independence. We're going to struggle with that this whole review. But whatever. So, are we going to just start with the plot? Just a rundown?
Yeah, because it's a mockbuster of Independence Day, which everyone knows Independence Day. And the reason why we did this one is because this is Independence Day weekend when we're doing this. It borrows elements, but it does this whole other convoluted thing on its own.
You say convoluted, sir. I say interesting. And that's part of my review.
Okay.
The movie starts out, basically, there were some soldiers driving, and then there was like some EMP or something, and then they see an alien ship crash. Then it fast forwards to now, and here's my thing. When you compare it to Independence Day had a buildup. Like, you just saw the ships, in different areas. Not these aliens. They started off just beating the crap out of the Earth. Like, they just started blowing up stuff straight up. That's it. They blew up the White House. Our first character was the vice president. She becomes the actual president because they just killed the president. They killed a bunch of fighter jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't say, we're going to leave you in suspense. No.
Right.
So they just start off just blowing up the world, saying, we are here to kind of take you over under some certain stipulations.
Right.
Then it's kind of like the aliens start stunting on human beings because they were like, listen, you've been messing up this world.
Yeah,
we're going to offer you, you're violent. Even though they just blew up a bunch of shit, they said, you guys are messing up Earth. We're going to save you. We're going to take you off this Earth. You're going to give Earth to us. And the president is like, no, don't do that. This is when they first start stunting. Okay, you don't believe us? Give us your son who can't walk because he has problems with his legs. We're going to heal him. Boom. And then they heal him, and then they're like, we don't know what's going on. But then there's a militia group.
Yeah, I like those guys.
That's another part of this that's interesting because they're like, we don't trust these aliens or what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are just fighting back. It turns out they were taking people. This is another part, but they were just throwing them off into space.
Right. Yeah, they were.
Or they were keeping them to go on the ship.
Yep.
They find out about this, and then they make like a biological weapon to kill the aliens. And that's it. And then it kills all the other aliens, and that's the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like the basic.
Yeah, so, I mean, this movie shocked me because I feel like that element where the aliens first come as like, they blow you up and then they're kind of come back as like, you guys suck. And then they kind of offer something back off, like, we're going to, do something for you. That was interesting to me. I would have liked that more expounded on because then you have the militia group that's kind of like, they're like the crazy people, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
They're like, forget this. They're trying to blow up the world.
They could have done more with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
Is it interesting that they have the power to kill everyone, but they had to concoct a plan for people to come with them so they can kill them.
I love that part because like that's the part where it's like more suspense because I was kind of like, is this movie going to go in a different direction?
Yeah.
Like maybe the aliens are the ones trying to help us, and then the actual militia group messes it all up.
Yeah.
So I was interested. I was like, maybe they are helping, but then of course they're throwing human beings into the
Yeah.
into space. So
Right.
but
So
that was interesting to me. That kept me on my toes. I'm like, man, are the militia's going to mess things up for the world? Maybe they take them. Because even one of the women were like, maybe they are trying to help us. He's like, F that.
yeah.
These people, these aliens are terrible. But I like that part.
Okay.
That kept me engaged. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think? Because that's my thoughts on it.
I mean, there's elements that I liked about. I did like the militia part. I was hoping that they would have written it in a way where they were more involved, like in actual Independence Day, where the kooky guy that no one believed at the end becomes the big hero.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if they would have taken more time, and maybe this was not in their plan to like go up against like, because now I'm probably overthinking the movie way too much.
Yeah.
Like, what if there was like that divide that they like when they wrote it in, like, you know, you're either on the militia side where we're not going to give up our guns or anything, or people are just that dumb.
Yeah.
And just going with them and stuff like that. So,
but you don't expect them to go that far with an Asylum film, Lamar.
And that's the thing. Like, that's why I think I'm thinking of it too much, because when I was watching it, I was like, are they gonna do something different? No, they just kill the aliens.
The fact that they came up with a premise that had you intrigued at all is an accomplishment, right?
It is, because you look at Transmorphers when we watch Transmorphers.
Yeah, Transmorphers was rotten.
Dear
and
God.
Android Cop was kind of rotten too. This was way better than the other two.
It still had those problems with like CGI and stuff, but the story kind of made up for it. I would say there's so many little things they could have done, and this could have been an interesting like sci-fi like movie, like, and it has like that underlying theme, like, you know, groupthink and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the Asylum can sell this concept to a major studio, rebrand it, repackage it a little bit so it doesn't look like a mockbuster, but the same kind of premise, and make it into something bigger and better?
Well, you know what I'm going to say, Joe. They can make this into
a show.
Because that's what everything's going into. I think they could sell this as like a show or a movie, if they still make those. And where it's like the aliens are just giving people like a bunch of stuff. And then it's like the militia groups that are clashing with the actual aliens. And then coming back to like that actual president, like she's like, okay, what do I have to do? Like, can I give in to what people want on this side that just want to leave because the aliens are giving them something? Or do these people that are the militia really have a point?
I think it would be cool if you had elements in the government that made an underhanded deal with the aliens, that knew that the aliens were killing people, but they made a deal with the aliens so that they can become take over or something like that, you know, to make that more interesting. So now you have even another level. That would be a cool concept.
Asylum, when you see this, we can work freelance and write this script, because I feel like we have just written a potential, like, I don't know, like a blockbuster trilogy or a show off of that, because it's an interesting idea.
It would be a cool show.
Yeah,
because you have all these groups. You could follow all the different groups. You can create backstory for the president. You can create backstory for the militia, backstory for the aliens, backstory for the corrupt government people that are making this deal with the aliens. There's so much there. So it could be something cool.
It could be. Yeah.
So out of the ashes of an Asylum film, there could be something really awesome, right?
Yes, there could be. I was very surprised that I was engaged in this story.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So what would you rate it then?
Honestly, I would first say a 3.5. I would give it a 4. Just out of my weird conspiracy thought of like a better movie out of this.
Okay.
I mean, and people have to look past, okay, the special effects aren't great, but the story is the nugget right there.
Right. Okay.
So
this was entertaining.
yes.
I'll agree. And now, like, going off of what you said, that there are some interesting elements to it and more possibilities with it. So yeah, I think I would agree with you. 4 out of 5 on my scale too. If everything was the same, but you
Yeah.
had modern day, the best of the best CGI in this film, would this be a pretty good film, right?
I would think so.
Does this make us want to watch more Asylum films? Because after the first 2 we watched, I was kind of like, no more.
Well, Joe, we can. Well, we've been already talking about this. Let's go through Asylum's titles that we have seen. There's Top Gunner.
I'm interested in that.
We got to see Top. Eric Roberts is in it.
Okay.
Then the other one we were talking about is featuring DMX, Fast and Fierce, Death Race.
Okay.
Fast and Fierce.
We've already had a mockbuster of Fast and the Furious with Biker Boys. Remember that movie, Biker Boys?
Yes, that movie. Yeah, that movie was just weird.
And quite honestly, I hate to offend all the fans of Fast and Furious, but Fast and the Furious is a mockbuster of Point Break. Just saying.
Well, I would go as far as to say it's become a mockbuster of the original movie.
Yeah.
Because of how crazy it's got. What is the opposite of a B movie where they've gone so like far with it?
I don't even know. Yeah, but they're at that point.
It's not even real car chase scenes anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they do have real car chase scenes, but then like in the last one, they had it where the cars were shooting out grappling hooks.
Yeah, it went from a group of people that were stealing merchandise from trucks and a guy that was an undercover detective that tried to get him via joining their car group, basically. It went from that to the laws of physics no longer exist, and cars with grappling hooks and explosions and
saving the world.
Yeah, it's off the rails right now. It literally is a mockbuster of itself.
So let me ask you this. Has Fast and Furious gone far enough to be B movies?
I don't know if it's a B movie, but it's what would you call it? It's just it's a dumb movie. It's dumb. It's a dumb fun movie is what I look at it as.
They have managed to get from Paul Walker to Vin Diesel being in there, and of course Michelle Rodriguez in the original ones. Then they added Tyrese, Ludacris,
The Rock,
Gal Gadot, The Rock, Jason Statham, who they have their own movie, which featured Idris Elba, and then they got Charlize Theron.
Well, no one's gonna turn it down.
What's the old actress's name? What's her name? Helen Mirren.
Oh, okay. Sheesh. They got everybody.
This classical theatrical actress.
Yeah.
Is in the, and then they have Kurt Russell.
Well, you got to pay for shit, Lamar. So to pay for shit, you need a job. And if Fast and the Furious comes knocking on your door with a truck full of money, you take the job.
It's just crazy how, like you said, it was about a undercover cop just going in, trying to figure out what these guys are doing, stealing stuff. And then they have Helen Mirren.
Well, anyways, going back to Independence Day.
Off track as usual.
So this gives us some hope that there's other Asylum films out there that have some potential to entertain us.
Top Gunner, Fast and Fierce.
Cool.
Death Race.
So we'll wrap this one up then.
Yes.
Episode 27. Independence Day.
Dense with ENTS apostrophe.
Peace.
Deuces.